Even though things are getting better for Ripple and XRP, the price of XRP keeps going down. Also, I want you all to know that this area is still connected to Bitcoin. If you're mad about how much XRP costs and how well it's doing right now, check out Bitcoin and let me know how it's doing. Is the price of Bitcoin at a new all-time high? Is Bitcoin going up? No, it's not. The market's still very much driven by Bitcoin. Hate to break it to you guys, but prices for old coins won't change much until we get out of Bitcoin driven markets. However, we could pay attention to the things that will cause price changes once we are no longer connected to Bitcoin. There are a lot of people who are angry or upset about Bitcoin right now, and I get it. I want the price of XRP to reach $10.00 too. Who wouldn't want to see XRP reach a new all-time high and then go through the roof? I feel the same way you do. But let's not focus too much on our anger and frustration over price changes when we are seeing some of the biggest changes in the space, especially for utility-based projects like XRP. First, I want to talk about RLUSD because the market for it is still opening up. What I don't like about RLUSD is how important it is on Ethereum compared to XRP. Pay attention. We know that Ethereum has a lot of, the XRP record isn't taking a big hit right now, but it would be great if ROSD could really connect Ethereum and the XRP system. I think that a lot more ROSD will be sent out on the XRP ledger once we start to see a lot of these changes happen, which they are starting to do on the XRP ledger. This will really help institutional DeFi projects, but we do see Gemini making ROSD possible. EMEC can be traded on Gemini, and both payments and withdrawals are possible, which I think is great. It's clear that Gemini is a big exchange, one of the biggest in space. We love seeing that. As for ROUSD, I already said we saw a nice little drop on the XRP ledger. We used up about 94.5 million and are now down to 39.5 million, which is a pretty big drop that I don't like. Right now, ERC20 or Ethereum based RUSD is about 250 million, which is a lot more than just the XRP record on Ethereum. But there is something cool I want you to notice, and I'll show it to you in this video. The number of monthly active addresses on the XRP ledger around ROUSD is higher than the number of users of ROUSD on Ethereum, which is kind of interesting to see. There are also 287K holders of ROUSD on the XRP ledger compared to 2.5K on the ROUSD. It's very interesting. We can now also see the monthly transfer volume. This is true even though the overall token supply, the circulating supply, and the bridge supply are all down on the XRP ledger. It looks like the monthly transfer amount is still going up a lot. It's up over 20% or 30% in the last 30 days, and it is now at almost $337 million. 0 cents. That would be great to see on the XRP system. I'd like to see a lot more ROUSD pushed out, but the amount of money transferred each month is still up about 47%. So RO is doing great. It doesn't matter to me if it works on Ethereum or XRP. So please listen to why that's. Ripple doesn't have to sell XRP because stable coins like ROUSD make them money. So there is no reason for the price of XRP to stop. We won't have to worry about XRP's price going down until they start making a lot of money off of ROUSD, which I think will take a little while longer. When it comes to holders, we can see that the XRP system has been going through the roof with holders compared to, Ethereum. We could also see the mint and burns from this point, and we could see that the number of active names on the XRP ledger was also going up. There will be a little drop here in May, but the month isn't over yet. This is what I'll be looking at the end of the month. Besides that, as I already said, the XRP system is going through a lot of changes that are helping organized players. This is the deep freeze that was now live on the XRP record that was made just for issue tokens and not XRP. It has the controls that are needed to follow the rules, stop fraud, apply sanctions, and make tokens that institutions can use. This is very important for big players, and it's really big on the XRP record. And see that the deep freeze has made it easier for institutions to keep track of their assets. Max Avery gets a big break. He made a movie, which I won't show you because I think you should see it if you get the chance. However, Max's description is pretty much the same as the best way to sum this up with one command. Deep freeze lets producers lock down all of their tokenized assets at once. Banks and other financial companies now have the power they've been asking for right away to stop any fraud that is happening, meet the requirements for compliance right away, and keep XRP itself free, quick, and unchanged. Yes, it's great. It's a big deal for the community and for what Ripple is trying to do, which is move tokenization projects forward. Besides this, we also got news from the COO of XRP Ledger Labs and Xamin Wallet. In April, over 200 million XRP were handled, which is worth $200 million, 0 cents. The trading volume on the chain which is really cool that you sign this by hand with the Xamin wallet. This means that the XRP community is growing, which is great for the environment. We can't just keep working on SafeCoin projects when we think about the XRP system, which is getting bigger and growing. I'm paying close attention to this because it means the community is opening up, which means XRP is being used more, sent out, and the number of people using the network is also growing. We did get a big report from Ripple. I'm sure you already know this, but Brad Garlinghouse told us that Ripple had a great first quarter of 2019. We bought Hidden Road from the SEC. Now that the case is over, institutions all over the world are interested in XRP and ETPs. The XRP markets report will look a little different. As some of you may remember, the goal of these reports starting in 2017 was to make Ripple's ownership of XRP more public. Unfortunately, the SEC and others use this information against us. Our commitment to openness has not changed. If it's changed, we will keep putting information about how much XRP we own on ripple.com/XRP instead of making a single report at the end of the quarter. Also, news about Ripple and XRP will be shared on social media sites that are already popular. Overall, this is a great fix. No more changes will be made to XRP. To be honest, I'm not too upset about this. We'll still be able to see reports and other things.